Mimic Octopus is a party game for creative braggers and bold imposters. Before starting the crazy conversations, you'll need to set up the game. Take the 2 info cards out of the deck. Note that all the other cards are pre-sorted and must not be shuffled. Take out the larger of the 2 decks. In the first game, both decks are the same size and it doesn't matter which one you take. For a 4 to 6 player game, count out 15 sets of 3 cards from this deck. For a 7 to 8 player game, you will need 16 mini stacks. Any remaining cards are placed on top of the other deck in the box. Each mini stack represents a situation the player is in, consisting of 3 identical cards. Now, depending on player count, select 3 or 4 random mini stacks and combine them into a deck. Shuffle this deck and deal 1 face-down card to each player. The remaining cards form a face-down discard pile that's placed on the table, and you are set for a round of Mimic Octopus. At this point, everyone reads through their card in secret. There are 2 rules. You're a team player if the same card as yours is in the hands of other players, and you're a Mimic Octopus if nobody else has the same card. Note, there could be 1, 2, or no Mimic Octopuses at all. And one team can have 2 or 3 teammates. But the catch is that nobody knows their role at the beginning of a round. You have to find out your role by talking to the group. When everyone has read their cards, the conversation starts. There's no turn order and everything is allowed, except you're not allowed to say the text or number on your card out loud. Your task is to find out whether you have any teammates, while not giving away too much information to the potentially present Mimic Octopus. Mimic Octopus's task is to realize that they are the Mimic Octopus and convince other players that they are in their team. If you think you've identified your role and played it well, or you think talking anymore won't do you any good, you can raise your hand. But it doesn't mean that you have to stop talking. As soon as more than half the players raise their hands, they all shout "Stop!" loudly, and all conversations must stop immediately. It's time for the big showdown. All players count down from 3 to 0 together. At 0, everyone simultaneously indicates with hand signals the conclusions they've made. If you think you're playing in a team, point your index finger at your teammate or 1 index finger at each of your 2 teammates. If you recognize all your teammates, you get 1 point for each teammate who also recognizes you. If you don't find all your teammates or you point to someone who is not on your team, you get 0 points. If you think you're a Mimic Octopus, you must choose between safety and risk. To play safely, make a fist. You get 1 point for recognizing your role as Mimic Octopus, but no bonus points. To take a risk, form a peace sign with your hand. You get 1 point for recognizing your role and 1 bonus point per player who thinks you're on their team. But if no one points at you, or you're not the Mimic Octopus, you get 0 points in this round. Keep your hand gestures while points are accounted for. You may now reveal what's written on your cards to find out if you're correct. The cards from the completed conversation each serve as 1 victory point. When you've earned points, visibly collect them in front of you. Any cards not earned as victory points are placed in the discard pile. If you ever need more cards for victory points, take cards from the discard pile. If there are still enough mini stacks in the middle of the table, start a new round. Once you've run out of all the mini stacks, the game is over. The player with the most points wins the game. If there is a tie, there are multiple winners. You now know how to play Mimic Octopus.